we're gonna have our work cut out for us, man. And that's the best part about this game is trying to put together a game plan that can go beat the arguably one of the best fighters on the planet right now in Khamzat Chimaev, and coming up with a game plan to nullify some of his best assets. So, that's the chess game.
I am dumping the house on Strickland. The words echoed through the MMA world as Jorge Masvidal made a bet so massive it left everyone speechless. He didn't just pick a winner. He promised to put his entire livelihood on the line to prove that Khamzat Chimaev is not the unbeatable monster everyone thinks he is. According to Gamebred, the legend of Boars is a carefully crafted myth that is about to come crashing down on American soil. He's seen the gaps, he's analyzed the tape, and he's convinced that Sean Strickland is the man to finally expose the truth. This isn't just a simple prediction anymore. It is a financial declaration of war that has set the entire combat sports community on fire.
Though he looked great in that DDP fight, I don't think he's all that good, man. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
Nah, I just know it.
Really?
I don't think so, man. I mean, look at the Usman fight. Usman was a 170 pounder. Took the fight in 11 days notice. I thought Chimaev lost that fight.
What?
He won the first round. Look at the tape. He won the first round, lost the second and third, didn't get more takedowns. Got stuffed up and got punched in the face more. So I definitely thought Usman won. That's a 170 pounder that's coming off the couch. Literally. He's not training, he's not living.
Brendan Schaub is sounding the alarm on why this fight is actually happening right now. He claims the UFC is desperate for a massive American superstar to lead the charge, and Sean Strickland is the perfect candidate to fill that void. Love him or hate him, Strickland has become a cultural phenomenon who says exactly what is on his mind without a filter. Schaub believes the promotion is going to give him a massive push to become the new face of the United States in the octagon. The timing for UFC 328 couldn't be more perfect, as the organization looks to capitalize on Strickland's wild popularity. It's a calculated move to crown a homegrown hero against the most feared man from the East.
So, I'm gonna just tell you guys this right now. If Sean fights Khamzat, Sean wins. Let's see. What do you mean, GG's? Chat, I will put $1 million on Sean Strickland. Oblivion clip? Send it to me. I will put $1 million on Sean Strickland when he fights Khamzat. Guys, who do you think is gonna be on the White House card?
If you thought Masvidal's house bet was crazy, Aiden Ross just took things to a whole different level of insanity. The streaming giant announced to his millions of followers that he is prepared to drop an even $1 million on Sean Strickland. He's so confident in the Americans' ability to shut down Chimaev that he's practically begging people to clip his claim and hold him to it. Ross isn't looking at the betting lines or the wrestling credentials. He's betting on the grit and the dog inside of Strickland. This massive influx of celebrity money and high-profile backing has turned a championship fight into a global event where the stakes have never been higher for both fighters involved.
By the way, Khamzat, what do you think about Khamzat?
He's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter. Yeah.
Who do you think if him and Strickland fight, who do you think wins?
Oh, Khamzat.
I think Sean wins that.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I do. I want him to.
Really? You want him?
Well, Khamzat called me a bullshit gay, bro.
Bullshit gay?
He called me a gay, bullshit gay.
Why?
So his manager's manager, like a manager of his friend was like, yo, I was like, I want to do a stream. He was like, yo, you got to pay me like $1 million. I don't pay anyone money to get on streams. And then Khamzat was just like bullshit gay, so.
The skepticism surrounding Chimaev's dominance started with his performance against Kamaru Usman, and Masvidal isn't letting anyone forget it. He pointed out that Usman took that fight on just 11 days' notice, moved up a weight class, and still managed to push Khamzat to the absolute brink. In Masvidal's eyes, Usman actually won that fight by taking the second and third rounds while Chimaev faded. If a 170-pounder coming off the couch can do that to the boogeyman, imagine what a natural cardio machine like Strickland can do over 5 rounds. It's the first time we've seen the armor crack, and the critics are smelling blood in the water as May 9th approaches.
That's the guy who was beating you up every day in the gym, man. So, how many times I saw meet the guy? How many times I beat him up? He went to his coach, man. He went to his coach, please tell the guy, man, go easy, go easy. And the guy going with this different, he said like, I went crazy with the guys who was going 166 or this shit, man. He's lying, man. He's lying. He trying to like, he say, I'm man, I'm this and that. I'm against the gay. He's trying to be some macho, man. You're not macho, man. When I punch you hard, you went to your coach and said, please tell the guy, go easy, easy. No, fuck off, man. What are you talking about? I beat you up. Was running for me. I've been in his home, I've been in his gym. Nobody never comes to my gym and trying to beat me up, you know.
Sean Strickland isn't holding back his insults, comparing Khamzat Chimaev to a pop star like Madonna who only shows up once a year. He's calling out the inactivity and the perceived special treatment that Boers receives from the UFC brass. Strickland argues that while he is in the trenches fighting the best guys constantly, Chimaev is sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect opportunity. He claims that this mysterious persona is just a cover for someone who doesn't want to do the hard work of defending a title regularly. For Sean, this isn't just about the belt, it's about proving that a blue-collar fighter can dismantle a guy who he thinks is being protected by the system.
So, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird what the UFC did with Chimaev. You brought a guy in that fights once a year who's like Madonna, who probably gets like, you know, I mean, how much money does that dictator give him on the table? Like, the guy doesn't need to fight, dude. He's best friends with a warlord. He's just going to sit on that belt and wait until they force him to fight. But yeah, now the middleweight division, man, like from a pure money perspective, you would make more money not fighting for the belt than you would fighting for the belt. Say Chimaev goes and fights Nasruddin in 6 months. Well, let's say Chimaev sprains his pinky like he normally does. Now he takes another year off. So it's like you're off for 2 years. The belt isn't even like, it's not even in my brain anymore. I don't even think about it. Like, I'll make significantly more money just fighting. You say, hey, you want to wait a year and a half and like not fight, or just keep fighting and fighting good guys and maybe taking an L? I'll just go fight good guys, maybe take an L, and I'll triple my pay. I'd just say Fluffy beats me and like, you know, Fluffy want you for a title fight. Well, I mean, he's gonna fight Nasruddin in probably what, 6 months? Fights Nasruddin, say they have a hard fight, or even if they have an easy fight, he sprains his pinky toe, he's out for another 8 months. So like, Fluffy, you're not fighting for a year and a half if you want to wait for that. And I'm sure you would, but it's like, me personally, I don't give a give me my paycheck. I want to go fight. Every fight, dude, the guy's like, I broke my hand. Dude, I have an x-ray. Want to see it? Like, my shoulder is broken. It's like every time this guy fights, he has a mysterious injury. It's just, why wait?
But Khamzat has a very different story about what happened when these two shared a gym together. He laughed off Strickland's tough guy persona, claiming he absolutely dominated him every single day they sparred. According to Chimaev, he wasn't just winning, he was beating Sean so badly that it became uncomfortable for everyone in the room. He describes a scene where the supposed American hero was helpless against his wrestling and pressure. Khamzat wants the world to know that the man you see on the microphone is not the same man who was gasping for air on the mats. He's promising to bring that same nightmare to the cage and finish what they started in the practice room.
Does anybody even have any wrestling remotely close to Khamzat Chimaev in his division?
Yeah, I don't think I think it comes down to mentality, not technique with him. Like that guy, like what I see with him is a guy that's got some amazing physical gifts. He's 100% in on his game plan. That's very powerful. Being somebody that's 100% in, that's hard to fight when everybody else is fighting with all these different disciplines, and you're going to go in there with one and you're 100% commit, and you're a young, durable, like hungry, believes anything, believes he can beat anybody. Like that's hard to beat. I think he will get tested, bro.
I think Anthony Hernandez is the dark horse that.
What about Bo Nickel?
I feel like certain guys
wrestling,
but you still got to get up more, get up there more. But I feel like there's certain guys certain styles that make fights, This one guy, his style doesn't fit yours, Yeah. I believe that Anthony Hernandez is going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Respectfully, I don't see anyone's name in there that shows me that they have like a certain like intensity and control to deal with the problem of Khamzat. It's crazy. Like we don't have much tape on him.
Yeah.
But every time we see him go in there and fight, he is just a bear trap on people. Yeah. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like
He's just so dominant.
It's full control. It's like it's no fear. It's full control. It's intensity, and it's like he's making these guys just locked up. And so like I'm looking at all the names and I'm like, yeah, amazing fighters. Everybody in the top 15. Okay, great fighters. Yeah. But has anybody gone in there and done what he's done to their opponents, right? Where it's just like a one-sided shutout, undeniable. No, I don't see it. So right now, like, he's at the top, you know, champion. It's deserving. I don't know who can deal with that in the division. But I can't wait to see, you know.
The most shocking revelation from Khamzat's camp involves Sean's own coaching staff. Chimaev claims that the beatdowns were so one-sided that Eric Nixick had to personally step in and beg him to take it easy. He says the coach was worried about his fighter's confidence and physical health because Khamzat was going too hard. This allegation strikes at the very heart of Strickland's man's man image and suggests a hidden vulnerability. If the rumors are true, then Strickland is walking into a fight against a man who already knows he can break him. It turns the psychological battle into a game of who is telling the truth about those closed-door sessions in Las Vegas.
For me, we needed to fix some things, obviously, and I spend time now doing that. And like I said, I'll be ready for April. I would love to be on that April card, the Miami card. There's no opponent yet, there's no contract yet, we don't have any of that. Whoever, let's go. I'm ready to go again and get back to my bout as soon as possible. Don't really matter who it is. I would, of course, love for it to be Khamzat and redeem that loss. But, you know, for me right now, the next fight is the most important fight of my life. And I will win that fight and I will get my belt back. If he tries anything different, it will be a terrible night. But we all know that. But he did what he had to win that belt. We can't hate on him for that. You know, he did what he needed to do. It's the rules of the game and he did it. So saying that, you know, it's not fair, it is fair. He did what he had to do. Not how I would win my belt or would like to, but that's what he did. And now it's my responsibility to go and fix.
Despite the rumors of gym wars, Sean Strickland remains convinced that he is the only human being on the planet with the style to stop the Chimaev train. He acknowledges that Khamzat is a dangerous force, but he believes his own defensive wrestling is the most underrated aspect of his game. Strickland pointed out that he's trained with national champions and elite wrestlers at American Top Team for years, and they all found out the hard way that he's impossible to keep down. He's planning to turn this into a high-paced striking match where Chimaev's gas tank will eventually hit empty. He's not scared of the takedown, he's welcoming the struggle so he can show his superior cardio.
Like I said on the night, you know, big ups to him. He came out there and he did what he needed to do. Not the kind of fight that I would have wanted with all the hype. You know, it wasn't a very fun fight to watch for anyone. I got bored in the fight and I was in there, to be honest. But I mean, he did what he had to do to win that belt. I mean, that is, if that's the way that you are gonna go, well, good for you. I mean, it's different strokes. I mean,
he negated everything you could possibly bring.
Yeah, 100%. He made sure he stayed out of danger, and he fought that fight, and he almost neutralized me and making it a fight. Because if we made it a fight, it would have been a different story. But he knew that, so he was smart in that. So I mean, frustrating, absolutely, but. Like I said, the speed bumps, that's what makes me better. Now I know the little piece of this puzzle where I need to work on, and believe me, in my next performance, you will see me do that, exactly just that. Be a master at that.
Coach Eric Nixick has a methodical plan to dismantle the systematic approach of the champion. He knows that Khamzat relies on a specific chain wrestling flow that overwhelms opponents before they can even breathe. The strategy for Strickland is to disrupt that system at every single transition point, planting seeds of doubt in Chimaev's mind. Nixick wants Sean to make Khamzat pay a physical price for every shot he takes, making the wrestling attempts as painful as possible. They aren't just looking to survive the early onslaught, they are looking to break the champion's spirit by showing him that his best weapons aren't working. It's a high-level game of chess with a violent twist.
On the contrary, Ilia Topuria predicts that Khamzat Chimaev would decisively defeat Sean Strickland in a potential matchup, calling Chimaev a great fighter with the tools to dominate the fight.
While many are siding with the American, Ilia Topuria is standing firm on his belief that Khamzat is simply on another level. The featherweight king sees Chimaev as a rare breed of fighter who possesses both elite technique and a terrifying physical presence. Topuria dismissed the idea that Strickland's style could pose a threat, predicting a decisive victory for the champion. He views Khamzat as a complete martial artist who can dictate where the fight goes at any moment. For Topuria, the outcome isn't even a question of if, but how quickly Chimaev can find the finish. It's a stark contrast to the narrative being pushed by the American experts and adds to the massive divide.
What are you talking about?
Khamzat Chimaev also responds to Sean Strickland's claim, making it clear he is ready to show why he remains the top force in the middleweight division.
Daniel Cormier has been watching the footage and he's noticed something that should terrify the entire middleweight division. DC claims that Khamzat Chimaev has grown so much physically that he already looks like a light heavyweight. After seeing video of Chimaev sparring with monsters like Khalil Roundtree and Luke Rockhold, Cormier was blown away by the size and power Borz was displaying. He noted that Khamzat wasn't just hanging with them. He looked like he belonged in the cage with the 205-pound elite. This massive frame combined with his wrestling pedigree makes him a physical anomaly that Sean Strickland has never had to deal with before in his career. The sparring sessions with Luke Rockhold were particularly eye-opening for those in the inner circle. Reports suggest that Chimaev was kicking with the same thudding power as the former champion and handling the grappling exchanges with ease. DC pointed out that when you see a guy out-muscling natural light heavyweights, it changes the entire perspective on his upcoming title defense. Khamzat isn't just a wrestler, he's an evolving physical force that seems to be getting stronger with every camp. If he can bring that 205-pound strength down to the middleweight limit without sacrificing his legendary pace, the task for Strickland goes from difficult to nearly impossible. Colby Covington chimed in on the matchup, emphasizing that beating Chimaev requires a very specific set of skills that most fighters simply don't have. He believes you need an insane sprawl, world-class down-blocking defense, and the ability to wrestle back into him to make him tired. Colby isn't sure if anyone in the current top 10 can actually pull that off consistently over 25 minutes. He pointed to Gilbert Burns as the only person who truly made it a fight by threatening with submissions and landing heavy leather. If Strickland can't replicate that level of resistance, Covington expects Chimaev to walk through him just like he has done to almost everyone else. Uriah Faber has his own take on the division, describing Khamzat Chimaev as a literal bear trap that snaps shut on people the moment the bell rings. He notes that Chimaev's success comes from a total mental commitment to his game plan that most fighters can't match. It's not just about the wrestling, it's about the intensity and the lack of fear that Borz brings into the octagon. Faber admits that every time we see him fight, it's a one-sided shutout that leaves the opponent looking helpless. He's struggling to find anyone with the control and power to stop that initial surge, making Chimaev the most daunting puzzle in the sport today. However, Faber did name one potential dark horse who could give Chimaev problems, Anthony Hernandez. Known as Fluffy, Hernandez has a pace and a wrestling style that could theoretically match the champion's output. Even Sean Strickland admitted that Hernandez might be a more pure wrestler than Khamzat in some aspects. This highlights a growing sentiment that while Chimaev is dominant, there are specific stylistic nightmares waiting for him if he gets past Strickland. The middleweight division is suddenly filled with high-level grapplers who are no longer intimidated by the hype, and they are all watching UFC 328 very closely to see if the king can be dethroned. Dricus du Plessis is also waiting in the wings, and he's already targeting an April return to reclaim what he believes is rightfully his. The former champ is obsessed with fixing the mistakes from his first encounter with Chimaev, and is confident he can settle the score. Du Plessis admitted that the wrestling was the deciding factor last time, but he's warned that if Khamzat tries to stand and trade in a rematch, it will be a terrible night for the champion. He's using his time off to rebuild his system and ensure that he never gets out-grappled again. The shadow of DDP hangs heavy over this fight, as the winner will likely have to face him next. Khamzat isn't bothered by the threats from the former champion, boldly stating that he would beat du Plessis 100 times out of 100. He views DDP as a great matchup stylistically because he believes his own grappling is light years ahead of the South African's defense. Chimaev sees himself as the ultimate counter to the heavy-hitting style of Dricus, and he's ready to prove it once he's finished with Strickland. The confidence is borderline arrogant, but it's backed up by a resume that features very few moments of actual struggle. Khamzat is already looking past his next opponent, which could be a dangerous mistake given Strickland's durability. The mysterious injury narrative continues to haunt Chimaev, with Strickland mockingly listing all the excuses he expects to hear if the fight gets delayed. Sean joked that Khamzat will probably claim he broke his pinky toe or has a hidden medical issue the moment things get tough. He pointed out that every time a big fight is scheduled, scheduled, rumors of Chimaev's health problems start to surface, which stalls the entire division. Strickland is frustrated by a champion who he feels isn't as battle-tested in terms of frequency. He wants a fighter who shows up and grinds, not one who waits for the perfect conditions and gifted luxury cars from foreign leaders. Money seems to be a major point of contention in this rivalry, with Strickland claiming that Chimaev doesn't even need to fight because of his wealthy connections. He painted a picture of a fighter who is gifted G-Wagons and millions of dollars under the table, allowing him to be picky about his schedule. Strickland, on the other hand, says he fights for his paycheck and would rather stay active and risk a loss than sit on a belt for 2 years. He believes this difference in motivation will be the key factor when they are deep in the championship rounds. One man is fighting for his lifestyle, while the other is fighting for survival. The setting for this epic clash is Newark, New Jersey at UFC 328, and the atmosphere is expected to be electric. This is a massive opportunity for the UFC to showcase its two biggest middleweight stars in a market that loves a good villain and a polarizing hero. With the fight taking place on American soil, the crowd is almost certainly going to be firmly behind Strickland. This hostile environment for Chimaev adds another layer of intrigue to the matchup. Can the champion handle the pressure of an arena full of fans screaming for his downfall? Or will the Wolf silence the crowd just as he has done so many times before? The betting world is bracing for a massive shift as the fight draws closer, with celebrities like Aiden Ross and legends like Jorge Masvidal putting up 6- and 7-figure sums. The pressure on the bookmakers is immense. If Strickland pulls off the upset, it could result in one of the biggest payouts in the history of MMA betting. Conversely, if Chimaev dominates as he expects, it will be a crushing blow to those who doubted the hype. This fight has transcended the sport and entered the realm of high-stakes gambling and mainstream entertainment. Every punch and every takedown will carry the weight of millions of dollars. As the final picks come in, the MMA world remains deeply divided on who will walk out of Newark with the gold. Some see Chimaev as an unstoppable force of nature who will simply steamroll over Strickland's defense. Others see a gritty, cardio-heavy veteran in Sean who is perfectly equipped to weather the storm and take over in the later rounds. It is a classic clash of the specialist versus the generalist, the phenom versus the veteran. Both men have everything to lose, and the winner will establish themselves as the undisputed king of the 185-pound division. The talk is almost over, and the violence is about to begin. Ultimately, this fight is about legacy and proving who truly belongs at the top of the mountain. If Khamzat wins, he solidifies his status as a generational talent who can overcome any style. If Strickland wins, he completes one of the most improbable runs in the history of the sport and becomes a legend for the ages. The experts have made their final picks, the money has been placed, and the tension is at a breaking point. Only one man can leave the octagon with the belt, and the answer will be written in blood and sweat at UFC 328. It's time to see if the bear trap holds or if the American dream prevails.